here on this dimension yet on Earth. That blending has not started to become prevalent. Oh, there are some people that's here that have 5D consciousness, but it's not enough people around here to even make any noise to talk about. That's why you don't see inventions in 5D. That's why you don't hear a lot of mentioning of 5D. That's why you don't even see people bringing ideas of 5th and 6th and 7th and 8th and 9th and 10th and 11th and 12th, dimension ideas. Because people haven't reached that for the most part. Some have, but most have not. But you do have people that are awakening in the 4D consciousness right now. You have people who have went inside of themselves, imploded inside of themselves, and went to different planets. And this is where you start to understand that you have a different body. Because I told you, you're not the body, you're consciousness. So you have a different body on these different planets. You have polarities. On one planet you have this, and another planet you have this opposite. And then you have all the different variants and different degrees. We're talking about infinity. We're talking about a level of hierarchy. We're talking about fundamental principles of how things are built. Let's move on. Many worlds is something that David put down. Many worlds. That's what I'm talking about. You start to think about many worlds. You start to see many worlds. There are beings, there are humans, male and female, right now have traveled to different worlds inside of themselves. They don't need no machine to get to another planet. You don't need a machine to get to another planet. I'm going to show you how to get to another planet. It's going to take some work. Just like it's taking billions of dollars, manpower, thought power to try to build a rocket to send somebody to another world. It takes work. But that's not the way to go. That's not the true way to go. You don't use a machine and have to be in the physical. You have an astral body. You have a spirit body that's not dense like this physical body. It can travel to other spaces. It can travel to other planets, many worlds. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. Many possibilities is what he put. And we talked about that just now. So let's go to the 5th dimension. Because now we're starting to go outside of the common man's thought. We don't see a lot of beings that is in the 5th dimension consciousness. Because a 5th dimension consciousness means that a person can perceive things 5D, or from 5 different perspectives at one time. He's 5 core. He's a 5 core processor. Just imagine a 5 core processor. You see? And I would say that this person have reached through 5 levels of his chakras. Starting from the root chakra on top. So you got the, going all the way up into the throat chakra. So they then went through the heart. Now, that's very important, and that brings something up to me, because I'm going to be bringing up some knowledge of the Taurus and talking about the Taurus, talking about the frequencies and all these things, and the techniques that will enable a person to even move through these different dimensions. But this talking about the heart, because the heart is something that we talk about a lot, but we don't really understand. The secrets of the heart, and then I got to do a video really soon about the secrets of the heart, the 7 layers of the heart, the different frequencies of the heart, and the heart is the main generator, or the spiritual generator, or really it's the main vehicle, because the heart pumps at 528 hertz. That's the frequency of the heart chakra. So when your heart is in tuned, that's already a gateway for time travel. With the heart and the breath, gonna put you right there. Gonna take you right there. And the mind, because you have to have the focus to go outside of the body. Really, you're going inside of the body. but it's an outer body experience. But let's move on. So now, many dimensions. Woo. See, this is where the 5 cores coming in. And see, when you get to the 5th dimension of consciousness, that means you can maintain memories. That means you got 5 beings going at one time that can communicate with each other and that can share information with each other. The quantum computer. You heard of the quantum computer. There's a quantum computer that exists now in the 3rd dimension that's able to go to the overlapping parallel universes or dimensions and retrieve information. Because when you built one here, you built it there too. When you ask for information here, you're asking for the same information there. But it's using 5 cores, 6 cores, or whatever many cores of however else it can reach, that it can translate to itself. You know, how much amplification that it has and how much receiving, because it's a send and receive thing. But you got to remember, once they image something, once something divides and make a duplicate of itself, it has all the information that the other one has. So they're going to be able to talk. So now we're talking about 5th dimensional consciousness. We're talking about being able to share information. 5 different perspectives of information. Share all of that in one space with each other. See, this is a high level. That's why when you start, it's my opinion now, when you start getting the 5th level, man, you're able to start to run things. And you're getting up there in the spirit world. Now, this is 5. 5. We talk about 5. You listen to Seven Bomar, a lot of different people, they're talking about the golden mean spiral. 5. What is 5? 5 is perfect perpetuation, a spiral. You see, perfect energy propulsion. Dan Witter's talking about it a lot. This is a mean to the black hole. This is how you enter through. This is how the torus field is perpetuating its energy. You see? Now, 5th dimension, 5. You remember I just said being able to control things? When you get to 5, when you get to the 5th dimension, you control things. What is 5 doing? For 5, it's perpetuating itself perpetually, unconsciously. It's running things. 5 runs the whole 3rd dimension. 5 over 4 is over 3. 5, bad boy. Now, a lot of people say we got to get out of 5. Maybe we do. I would say we need to master 5. We need to master it. We need to, instead of trying to get out of something but before we understand it, we need to master it. Let's master 5. Let's master this geometry. We are everything. We are all is self. We merge with all the geometry. We master the geometry. All is self. So we're going to master 5. We'll master in our conscious. We'll master in our geometry. But let's move on. Now, this is 6th dimension, crater. This is something I resonate with a lot. And I believe this is where my consciousness is and is evolving and is putting everything together. The 6th dimension consciousness. Woo! 6 dimensions. 6 core processor. 6 core processor. Okay? 6th dimension. Crater. This is where, when you master this level of consciousness, you can start to create with your mind. Where there's not so much lag. Right now, we're creating with our mind. Creating thoughts. And with enough momentum and energy, these thoughts manifest to things, to mass. Meaning we're able to manipulate the molecules, the elements, the elementals, and get them basically, rule them rule over them to where they cooperate or they correspond with us and with our commands and with our thoughts. Now, when you get to that sixth dimension, that's where you at. You're able to transform, transmute things. You're able to change the lead or the base consciousness to gold or high consciousness. You see? Because when 6 mirrors itself, it's 12. And I think that's one of the highest, if not the highest level of consciousness in the physical domain. So let's move on. In a physical sense, not physical domain, in a physical sense. And etherical. Yeah, thoughts. David, he's in corresponding with my thinking. Thought. This is where your thoughts, this is where you have control of thought. This is where you're in harmony with self. You're in harmony with self. This is it's a harmonic right here. This is half of the scale of 12. You see? This is a big scale right here. And thought. This is where you can use your thought to control things. And let's look at some of the geometry that comes to that. Ha, there it is. The macabre, the Merkaba. This is where you got the masculine, the feminine coming together. And you got not quite a versical Pisces, but you got a middle shape, which is a 6-shaped hexagon that's in the middle. Now, just about anything or almost everything you can think of in the physical reality can be almost made from this geometry right here. It's a very high and sacred geometry. This is geometry is where you get the Kabbalah is based on this type of geometry. Jewish mysticism. A lot of mysticism. This is the level that where the Kemetans, the Egyptians, this is the level where they was at. You see, a lot of the geometry and a lot of the consciousness building was on this level. I think this is a level where you don't have to communicate, you don't have to talk anymore. This is where mental telepathy, this is where thought can create. Okay? Let's move on. Seventh dimension, many creators. Many creators. This is where, from how David was